The Tulsa port of Catoosa is bursting with barges, but the facility's 2 towboats sit idle at the dock.
So there's approximately 79 barges in the port today. That's the same number it's been since May 13th when all the rain started and the flooding happened.
You see those cylinders there, the concrete cylinders? They're called dolphins. That's where the barge is moored up to. 5 inches was showing above the water. That's it. In 2018, the Port of Catoosa shipped 2 million tons of steel, petroleum-based products, soybeans, wheat, and fertilizer. In total, Oklahoma's waterborne freight averages 6 million tons per year. And right now, those goods must be moved by rail or truck.
That takes about 250,000 semi-trucks to carry the equivalent amount of freight as that 6 million tons. So now picture 250,000 semi-trucks a year on I-40, sharing lane space with us, consuming diesel fuel.
And polluting our air. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation estimates fuel and CO2 emissions would rise by 270% if that freight were shipped by truck, and 40% if shipped by rail. Plus, it's much less expensive to ship by barge.
To ship fertilized by truck costs $40 a ton more than if we can receive that same fertilized by barge. So it's a tremendous impact on the farmers.
The water here was almost 9 foot above this dock that we're standing on.
50 miles to the southeast, Josh Taylor oversees this cavernous warehouse at the Port of Muskogee.
We transversed all of our customers' products onto rail cars and railing it into us instead of barging, which as an industry is hurting a lot of us because they're used to the cheaper barge rates.
The Port of Muskogee sits at the confluence of 3 rivers, the Arkansas, Grand, and Verdigris.
Well, we just experienced an unprecedented catastrophic event, clearly the flood of record. When all those rivers come together, it creates additional flows that you might not experience above or below. So it's catastrophic in that way. About $100 million so far that I can calculate in damages.
In the flood of 1986, 327,000 cubic feet of water per second flowed through this port. This May, the figure was almost twice that, 627,000 cubic feet per second. Obviously, the flooding was a huge and expensive problem for the Port of Muskogee, but the biggest problem were the 2 barges that got loose here, traveled 27 miles downriver and slammed into that dam at Lock 16. The first barge sank in 7 seconds. 2 weeks ago, it was successfully removed at great cost by a private contractor hired by the barge owners. The second barge has been peeled back from the dam but still remains. The salvage operation was made possible by the Army Corps of Engineers' successful efforts to lower the water levels and expose the barges.
We're able to drop it about 2 feet per day for a total of over 27 feet that we drew it down.
Thankfully, the dam did not suffer significant damage, but there are repairs that need to be made, and that is also the Corps' responsibility. There's just one big problem. They currently have a $233 million critical maintenance backlog, which is defined as a 50% chance or greater of an equipment failure within the next 5 years. And that figure is expected to rise considerably following the spring flooding. $233 million.
This current year, we received $10 million to do some work on the gates. So every year we're seeing some additional money.
$10 million, when 23 times that is needed for critical maintenance.
Corps of Engineers, due to their budget constraints, rather than doing preventative maintenance, often they just have to do a fix-as-fail.
There's just apparently not an appetite in our Congress to appropriate sufficient funds for navigation system, not just ours, but the entire navigation system.
Best case scenario, some barge traffic resumes by October, and things get back to normal early in 2020.
The worst is past us, I believe, and the best is yet to come, but it's slow.
In the meantime, new steel coils arrive looking like this, to sit beside older coils coated with a layer of rust from the floodwaters. These coils weigh between 25 and 32 tons, 50,000 pounds at least. A semi-truck can haul 1 of them, a freight car 4 of them, and a barge 60 of them. The same disparity exists for food crops, and those extra transportation costs will eventually get passed on to you-know-who.
Those are ripples that are going to go into the economy, I think, for years to come, whether it's what we pay at the grocery store or what we pay at the pump or what we pay when we go to Lowe's to buy that new appliance. We're going to feel it.